say what we need to do. We need to speak to the people behind the scenes at EPL across the pond, and we need to get them to turn the music down in the ears for that intro, because it's deafening in my ears as we go forward. I don't like it was your ears. So hopefully you can hear us normal time and everything's good. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Thursday nights live with Gary and Chris for the EPL preview show from across the pond. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. If you haven't done so already, we'll stop you right now. Click on the links, subscribe, give us a follow. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, EPL across the pond. If you want to keep ahead of things, if you want to look at past shows, things we talk about, our Wednesday night World Cup Wednesday show. We had a belter last night. If you've not checked that one out, get online and check out all the controversy about the old, all that kind of good stuff. What would you say?
The only controversy stuff comes from you, doesn't it? Let's be honest. But you're just looking, just fishing. The fume brigade are just waiting. They just got the fingers on the keyboard ready to go. And then as soon as you start talking, they're just there. There's all been a good 50 odd comments on the one about Maradona for you. But yeah, tonight's a different story though, mate. It's been a long wait.
Too long
for Premier League football, hasn't it?
Long. How's everybody been doing? Drop us a comment. Again, if you want to join in the show, it's an interactive show. We're here just as much as you're here. If you got something you want to say, drop it in the comments. If you want to get on the show, there's an opportunity. We could shout out selective audiences only, always. But if you want to join Gary and I on the show, drop on, give us your comments, let us know how your team's doing, what's good, what's going bad so far this season. Players have got to come, players have got to go. Who's going to get the chop managers next? I've gone very American tonight. I've got my Detroit City FC nice little hoodie on. So not dressing up as anything politically correct or anything like that, Gary. I'm focused on this week's football because, okay, I had a bit of European football today with Forest against Porto, but I've really missed domestic league football. I miss it, dude.
Yeah, no, mate. I'm missing things so much the way that Liverpool are playing at the moment that I've regressed back to the 90s with the two shirts on the wall and the trackie that I've got on because it's been a rough couple of weeks anyway. Even without Premier League football, it's been a rough couple of weeks. But
I'm glad you're back in the studio. I'm glad you're back in the studio.
I know. You know what? I tried my best. I was away. I was bouncing around all over the place. I was away, a little bit of vacation and a little bit of work and. Yeah, I did try and keep up with you, mate. You held down the fort well. I'll give you credit. This wasn't you dipping out for a shite and leaving me on the air for like 2 minutes, like on day one. This was me not even in the room, and you've holding down the fort. So, mate, fair play to you. Did a good job. What else have you been up to in the last 3 weeks? Like, what has been going on?
The last 3 weeks, it's been Easter. So obviously, kids, chocolate, Easter eggs. Trying to find other sports to get involved with. In America, as you probably know, we've had March Madness with the college basketball. Just can't get into it, me. NFL season's off. Baseball season's just started not so long ago, but I don't mind going to a baseball game, but watching on the TV is just, it's torturous. Just waiting for the footy. Just literally waiting for the footy. Obviously, we had some FA Cup games that we can talk about coming up. There's some Champions League games this week. If you want to talk about those, I don't know. Europa League games. I can't wait for this weekend, mate. I just cannot wait for a full schedule of games. You know, some weekends you don't get some teams on a Sunday, some on a Saturday, and there's 2 or 3 games that are missing out. I think everybody plays Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we've got a lot of games. I mean, the one thing I want to know, Gary, I don't think we prepped you for this or anything. I want to know about your boys. I want to put you on the spot now. And I want to know about Liverpool. And again, Liverpool fans, if you're watching, put it in the comments. The big boy, Arne Slot. He had songs and all sorts. He came in a baptism of fire last year, won the Premier League in his first season. What's going on?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I just feel like, yeah, there he is, straight off the bat. He's still on the golf course.
He's still playing golf. Change that shirt. It's going to stink.
Yeah. Bervo still on the golf course. But yeah, Liverpool do stink. Don't know, mate. It's a tough one, isn't it? I really think, I think last year he did the right thing because, you're coming into an environment, any work environment, job environment. You don't change too much if something's working already. So I think he did a very good job of that. And then, year 2, you try and sprinkle your own little bits. Now, granted, he's under a lot of pressure because he spent that much money and there's a lot of things going on around the club. And you can't take away from the fact that ultimately it is the remnants of an old team that are coming into the road. Like all the players that, Salah's leaving, Robertson's leaving. There was a picture today, wasn't there, of there's only 2 players left from the team that won the Champions League in 2019. And when you think about that team, won the Champions League and lost the league by a point, and I think they got 97 points and still lost the league. That team's gone now.
Any of the season wins you the league by 10 points.
Yeah, exactly, and has done. And I think that at that point now, that's winding. There's a lot of factors in play, but at the same time, you need somebody who's going to hold all that together. And I don't think he has been able to do that. I don't doubt that he's a very good coach. I don't doubt that he knows football. But at the same time, I just don't think he's got that character that Liverpool sometimes needs. And I think the same thing happened with Man United at the end of Ferguson's reign. Players were old, players started retiring. And I just think that's happening to him. But the question comes back to, I just don't think he's the right guy now at this point, the where Liverpool are at. And you've seen it. I mean, the FA Cup game against Man City the other day, people down tools. Like the fact that Ekitike's coming off on 55 and swapping shirts. And the funny thing was, Cherky sat on the Man City bench with Ekitike's shirt on for about 20 minutes.
You and I talked about that before. It's just wrong on both sides, right? On both sides. So here's the other old cliche. Has he lost the dressing room? Because I've seen it at Forest over the years with managers. I've seen it at United with managers. There he is, South Asian Scouser. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Welcome back.
I wonder if his thoughts echo mine. I mean, because every Liverpool fan has a crazy, has different opinions, right? Mine might seem like a little bit more conservative, not as partisan, but I just think that I just don't think we're in a good space at the moment. And I think
when you hit it there, when you see players downing tools, that means he's lost the dressing room. And that, I've seen managers go various different teams because they're going into the dressing room after that game, after, losing 2-0 against PSG or 4-0 against City. Is he rounding the troops up? Is he, decomposing it? Is he going through each different thing and telling players what they did wrong and what they could have done better? Or is it kind of, he's gone in the dressing room and said, all right, lads, see you tomorrow. And he's gone.
I really don't know. Maybe he's just give some stock answer, but that's the thing as well, and it's like every relationship, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but there's signs there that just suggest that all is not right. Now, my biggest case in point is in the transfer window, Andy Robertson was prepared to go to Tottenham to get out, and I honestly don't think it was Slot that talked him back in. I've got to say it's someone around the club that's kind of talked him off the ledge and got him back in and said, listen, we'll give you a send-off in the summer, which is what has happened this week, and it looks, by all accounts, it looks like he's going to Celtic. But
here's another thing with the Andy Robertson thing: timing, right? You've just been battered by City, you've just been battered by PSG. You're now coming back after a 3-week league break, so you're at the FA Cup, probably looking to go outside of the Champions League. Is this the right time to announce that you're going to be leaving? Is this the right time to say, hey, guess what, guys, I'm off in the summer? Now I know players are going to be looking at that and saying, well, I've got to get myself in the shop window, right? Maybe he's got a deal already in place to Celtic, but he wants to put other teams out there to say, well, Andy Robertson, well, let's pick up the phone and see what he's looking for. Or can we bring him to Spurs, or can we bring him to, I don't know, Chelsea or wherever? Is it the right timing when the club's going through all this? Slot's under a lot of pressure, and now he's basically saying, yeah, I'm out too.
Yeah, no, he's got a good point. And you know what? I agree with our friend here, South Asian Scouser. There's none of that. There's none of that leadership. And I think that it's tough to pin it all on Van Dijk, because I think ultimately a captain is a reflection of the manager. And I think Van Dijk's just if you've got someone behind you who's going to give you a rocket, like Henderson and Milner there to that point had Klopp. And they knew if they weren't, Klopp didn't have to do anything because he knew those would give him a rocket. But if he ever suspected that they weren't doing the job, I'm sure he would have gone straight in there. I just don't think Slot's doing that. But
it's also hard
about Robertson. To your point about Robertson, though, I think Liverpool, I don't know. The timing is crap, but when is the good timing at the moment? Because we've been garbage for a couple of weeks now and really up against it. And Andy Robertson is a 7-year, read another article today, best 11 million that we've spent. 9 years, he's won every trophy going, and he'll be an absolute legend for years. The way they talk about Kennedy and all these other left backs that have played for the club, he'll be held in that regard, if not higher. So,
I mean, he's not going to struggle to find a team, even if he says like in June 1st, by the way, I'm not, I'm ended. That's it. I'm done. Today was my last game. He's not going to struggle to find a team. I just wonder if there's something there. And again, I love my controversies. I love my kind of man on the moon kind of concept and everything. Is he doing it as just a little jab towards the manager?
I don't know. But again, though, you're probably right. But like, if that was Klopp, would think he'd be doing it?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because if it was the Klopp situation, Klopp would have done the presentation. Klopp would have done they would have sat down together, done some kind of media work and say, you know what? And he's had a spectacular career at Liverpool. Maybe he wants to try something different, play abroad, MLS, we don't know, Scotland, he's always wanted to play for Celtic, or he wants to try something different. And I think they would have been a bit more graceful. Or Klopp would have said, you know what? We've just been beaten by Man City. We've just been beaten by PSG. Let's not do this right now. Let's delay the announcement until either we come off the back of a couple of wins or the season's kind of, it is where it's going to be.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Look at this. You know what? Again, I quite like this guy. He talks a lot of sense here. Not actually bothered with seniors going out, to be fair, it's time. I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah. But we've never replaced adequately, especially in the leadership department, right? But
yeah, and I take it as a neutral again. I think the problem Slot's got as well is with the amount of money they spent last summer. That puts him in the target room. You just won the league and he spunked all that cash. That puts the pressure on it. Let's say they didn't buy Isak and they're in the same position they are now, but they've spent 250 million instead of 450 million. Probably a little bit less pressure, right? Because then it's going to be like, well, we needed a striker. Let's wait till the summer. Let's see what we can bring in. Salah's kind of getting there or thereabouts. He's going to be gone in the summer too. It gives you a little bit more. Now it's like, well, the board's probably going to be like, well, we don't have another 450 million to spend.
My argument is, it's just that I know this guy's a wind-up merchant, so I'm not even going to go, but I'm going to throw it on the screen just to show how much of a whopper he is. But you know what? It's like, the thing is, I don't think he's bought these players. I think the way Liverpool, and this comes down to my gripe, is I don't think Liverpool are being run like they normally are. Like, they've got sporting directors making decisions and then the coach is just expected to deal. I don't think he's gone for all these players. I think he's just been given these players, or they've come out with their little model of who they want.
And that's something we've talked about in the past. That's the modern day football way of, directors of football buying these players, boards buying these players. When it doesn't work out, it's the manager's fault. It's not the player's fault. It's the manager's fault. All right.
Yeah. I know. I see him. He's coming back in.
Get your boots, lads. Get your boots.
Everyone's piling in on him. The door's open. Yeah, get in there. If he's that good. He can't. I'm just going to call him SAS now. SAS, he can't get him in because he's on the golf course. He can't change boots for golf shoes.
It's too busy. What we got on the show then, Gary? What's on the show?
Get off Liverpool. Okay, so there's a couple of things. We're going to talk about the leagues. We're going to talk a little bit about the top and the bottom half of the Premier League. We're going to talk about the champ because there's a lot going on in the champ at the moment. It's getting very competitive up at the top end and in and around the playoffs. And we're also going to talk about Tottenham's new manager as well. But before we get to that, it is time. It is time.
Is it?
It's your favorite part. It's your favorite time of the week. It's your favorite time of the week. I know this. There's two things, right? There's two very important things here that are happening. It is time for Gary and Chris's proper Dead Hard Thursday trivia. But before we go, we have to recognize
greatness.
We have to recognize greatness. Heavy Kev has decided to join the chat. It's a great question, Kev. I don't know is the answer. But we just couldn't get the players in. Maybe we get to Palace at some point tonight, mate, and I'll fire the link over and we'll get you in here. But we'll see. We'll see how we get on. But you can talk about Palace, especially after a great win tonight, by the way, 3-0 against Fiorentina.
Fantastic.
All right, so proper Dead
Hard Thursday trivia. That guy with the dodgy ticker got on the score sheet, didn't he? The guy with the dodgy ticker that failed his medical to City. What's his name? Come on, Kev, help me out. Man City's Crystal Palace striker.
Mateta.
Yeah.
He was going AC Milan, wasn't he, I thought?
Yeah, done deal, but then he failed the medical.
Yeah, and he failed the medical. All right, ready? I like this one. This is a good question.
I got my pen ready.
Name the top 10 non-UK goal scorers in Premier League history. So Gary and Chris's proper dead hard Thursday trivia question. Name the top 10 non-UK goal scorers in Premier League history. If you hang around to the end of the show, we'll give you the answer. But for the time being, you're on your own.
Here's what I like about that one. You're going to have people. I don't think everyone's going to be thinking now, aren't they? They're going to be thinking the last couple of years in the Premier League, but you're going to have to start thinking longevity. So it's going to be for really people who've been watching the Premier League, like you and I, Gary, since the opening season, the 1992-93 season and beyond. So there's going to be a little trip down memory lane, I think, with some of these names.
I can tell you now, Bav's not getting it. No. Bav's not getting that one. Heavy Kev might, and I reckon SAS will as well, because SAS seems to know his stuff, but there's no chance for Bav. Bless him. All right, okay. So, do you want to go De Zerbi?
Yeah. Again, put it in the comments. Is De Zerbi the right man? Was he the right man? He's the man. There's a brilliant one that came out the other day, wasn't it? With, it's late in the day. I'm trying to think of his stuff. Ericsson was announced was dead for 259 days. And then the Spurs player been injured for 388 days, and there's still no signs of him coming back. Is De Zerbi the right man for Spurs? Is he? The thing that I think is going to struggle with it, again, if you followed this guy throughout his career, whether it was in England, whether it was in France and everything, he's a systems guy. And he's very structured with his systems and the style he likes to play. So he's unlike what I would call a motivational manager, where someone's going to come in and like a Harry Redknapp or a Martin O'Neill, who's going to basically motivate players, get them going, G them up and say, come on, lads, let's get out there. Have a bit of a structure, but more for individual, working on the players one at a time, making sure, hey, what do you need? What's going on? Get the best out of them. He's a complete systems guy who likes to spend a lot of time on the training grounds, working on set pieces and set plays and counterattacks and all that kind of good stuff. And that takes time. You've got to have the right players to do that. So he's been brought into a Spurs side that have really struggled to find identity this season. I think they've got a couple of young English players, or a couple of young kids that have shone a little bit. But outside that, they've got nobody that's really come and grabbed this team by the horns, or you watch Spurs and there's nothing that really excites you about them. There's really nothing. Who's the lad that got from Bayern Munich? Tell. He's a one-trick pony. He's got a trick. He's got one or two tricks, but he doesn't do anything, no end product or anything else. And I'm still hopeful that Forest will finish above Spurs, but I was happy when this guy got the job. I really was, because I don't think he's the right person for Spurs. Is it a guy that's just going to try and get him over the finishing line and they can regroup in the summer? If that's the case, why would you put him on this big contract they've just given him?
Well, he's also got a no relegation clause, hasn't he? So if he goes down, he's tied to the contract. He's not allowed to leave. My thing is, you've said it already, he's a system player. And he's already been talking about simplifying. Read reports about him. He's already talking about simplifying the tactics to make it easy for him. But he's a high-risk, high-reward manager. Like, if you remember his Brighton teams, they would go and smash someone to bits, 4-0, 5-0, and then get smashed themselves the week after. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, the reality is, if that happens, I think that'll be enough. If Spurs win 3 games out of the last 7, I think that'll be enough for them to stay up. But the question is, look at this, actually, not a million miles away, It's not a terrible guess. Not a terrible guess from SAS.
I like Good Johnson in there.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that. I don't hate that guess, but is it right? I don't know. No, but my point is, I don't know if he's a high risk, high reward manager. It's an absolute gamble bringing him in with 7 games left. But
to your point, even those Brighton teams, that wasn't something that got him going straight off the back. It took him time to build those teams to get them where they wanted to do. He's been linked with Forest for several years, for quite a while now. And I was never wanted to bring him in as a fan of bringing him in because, like you say, they'll go and have an amazing game, but they still play that one-dimensional, one style of football, and then teams will smash them the next week. And it's crazy to say this, Gary, but it's very, very similar to Postecoglou. It's very, very similar styles. And if you look at Ange last season, it was very much, I think Spurs were waiting to get knocked out of Europe and then they were going to fire him. But he kept in Europe and they kept him and then ends up winning the trophy. But ultimately, that style of football just did not work for them. And I think you're going to get something similar with De Zerbi, not as crazy kind of style and high press, but you're going to see something similar where one week, again, you can look like the best team in the league, which they did. His Brighton teams did. They battered some teams. And then the next week, you'd be favourites to win and they lose. It's
a good point. If you look at De Zerbi on Wikipedia, which I should have brought up, but I've got SAS, so I don't need to. Oh. He's very, very short spells. I think the biggest spell he's had was maybe 2.5, 3 years, and that was at Brighton. So he could be brilliant. Like he could be like a Pochettino, where he really develops a culture, but he has to stay up. I think. Because if he goes down, it's going to take time. I still think Spurs stay up. I've got one eye on it because of me misses, so I can't avoid that. But I still think they'll stay. My take with Spurs, we're not going to talk too much about it. My take with Spurs is it's maybe a little bit similar to the Liverpool era. You had Son and Kane that were coming to not towards the end of their careers, but getting up there in ages and stuff. And when they let those players go, they never replaced them. They brought players in, but they weren't at the same level. You don't get rid of 2 world-class players and bring in potential players. But that's always been the argument with Spurs, isn't it? They don't want to spend the money. They're getting the next best thing. This guy's got potential and he's going to do something. But Son and Kane were both finished products. They were both players that could get you 20, 30 goals a season, and they just disappeared and they never stepped back up to that level. Yeah, no, true. Let him go. Let him go. No. Come on. He's keeping him up. All right. So we'll get to the league. We'll get to the league and see how it looks. Because again, the obvious thing, if I bring up the top half of the Prem to start with, the obvious thing we're looking at here is they've dropped down that 5th Champions League spot. So that is confirmed now. Yeah. The goalposts have been moved. Officially. And by all accounts, if certain teams win certain competitions, that could go down. Like, I think if Liverpool or Villa win the Champions League, or Villa win the Europa League, that will go down to 6th. Right. And then you're talking about the next 2 teams will get Europa League, and then the team under that. So at the moment, 8th will get you into Europe. So the fight for that is unbelievable. Not only Everton win, Liverpool lose, they're level on points. Brentford win, Chelsea win. It's just an absolute. And Liverpool, who the hell knows what's going to happen? What's the scenario if Forest win the Europa and they get Champions League? Does that it goes to 6, doesn't it? No, because I don't think so. Because actually, it might do. Yeah, Europa goes straight to the Champions League. So if, let's say, Forest win the Europa League, Liverpool finish 6th or 7th, but win the Champions League, how many do you have in there? Yeah, could be. I think there's one of them. I think there's only 6 can go in, but I don't know for sure. It's guaranteed 5, but it could be 6. Yeah, and Europe could go down as low as 9th. So. Mental. Which is bonkers, really. And especially because if you think about it there now, and the top out, I think Arsenal are done. Everyone's saying, they're going to bottle it. I really don't think they will. Like, even if Man City beat them, Man City win their game and they go to 64, then they beat Arsenal and go to 67. I still can't see it. I'm with you. I think there's 38 games for those that are unsure. So 7 games left for most. City have obviously got 8 with the game in hand. They've also got to play Arsenal. 38 games. They've also got to play Arsenal. So that's why this weekend, I'm going to put it out there. Everyone compared to 9th. Oh, it's your fault. So this weekend, Arsenal are the early game. We'll get to the fixtures in a minute. But I think if Arsenal win and City don't get a win, I think it's over. Yeah, I still think if Arsenal win, because everything has to go wrong. And especially since they've just been dumped out, since we were on the air last, I think, but certainly me, they've got dumped out of 2 competitions. So if I don't see them losing, like they have Bournemouth at home this week. If Arsenal don't beat Bournemouth at home, they don't really deserve to win it. I think it's done. I honestly do. Fair. And it does irk me because my first memories of Arsenal were beating Liverpool on the last game of the season in 1989. Michael Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, great goal.
Horrible. John Barnes ran it in the corner.
Well, Digger gave the ball away, and then there's, is it Stevie Nicol with his half-arse clearance?
There was all sorts going on. Yeah.
The ricochet
through to him, yeah, and then he scored. And it had to. I mean, anyone who doesn't know that, I mean, people who watch this hopefully will know, but anyone who hasn't seen this, it had to be Arsenal still -40. Yeah, of course, it's done. It's absolutely done. No, I that's the one. You know what, SAS? That's the one thing I don't agree with you on.
Right. Your argument with that is they got an injury time winner in the Champions League the other night.
Yeah.
You're not scoring 91st minute winners away from home in Europe in a Champions League quarter-final if your legs are gone.
But you know what? Listen, there's a point. I mean, they are playing a lot of games, and the way that they're playing, like I've got colleagues, American lads who are Arsenal fans, and they're like, it's horrible. Because they used to love watching Arsenal because of the way they played with your Henrys and all the rest of it. But he said, now it's just horrible. You can't watch it. It's not fun to watch. Right. But I still think they're going to have enough juice. All right.
Let's look at this weekend. Should we look at the fixtures?
Bottom half of the league and the champ, mate. And the champ. Let's not forget that.
Could be an extended show tonight.
And fixtures. Don't worry, we'll get through it. And
Kev's got to go. Kev. It's good to see Woody back tonight. Yeah, good to see you got a good 45 minutes for Forest.
Solid 45 minutes.
I think he'll start on Sunday against the Villa and getting you nice and tuned for the World Cup for you guys. So Woody's going to be back to full form for the summer.
I've just sent Kev a quick link. I want to see if we can get him on.
Okay.
Just to talk like a 30-second rant about the Palace. Let's see if we can get that.
Well, it should be high as a kite tonight. They had a great win in Europe.
I can tell you now that Bervin is a massive fan of Kev. So if Kev can get on, it'll be massive for Berv.
Hey, we all are.
But when you look at the bottom half of the table, right? We talked about 49 points Liverpool are
49 points. So I mean,
and when you're
telling me teams can't close a 10-point gap.
And you look at this one, Brighton eighth. We're saying 8th for Europe, 46. If you look at the bottom here, you're telling me Newcastle, Bournemouth, Sunderland, they can't get in there.
It's madness. That's why, Gary. That's why I bloody love this. I bloody love this league. And this time of the year, I don't know why we've had this stupid 3-week gap. Now we're back. We've got some exciting games this weekend, which we'll get to in a minute. And this is the money time of the season. This is when fans are looking at it and going, holy shit, my team's lost 6 of the last 7 games. What's going on? When's it over for Wolves? I think another 2 games. I think they could be the first one officially relegated. It's just a wonderful time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a sprint now. They're coming. It's like if you think about a 400-meter race, they're coming around that final bend now, aren't they? It's just going to flat out.
And mate, we're nearly in mid-April, so as everybody else, the season finishes in May. So we've got 4 or 5 weeks left of the season to get 7 games in.
Yeah. I know exactly. What's this now?
What's the time to be alive?
All to play for. Oh, look at this guy, loves it. I'm taking that quote. We're going to put it on a t-shirt. All right, okay. We're going to go to
SAS. Where you based, SAS? Put in the comments where you're based.
Oh yeah,
we could be global. We could be global, Gary. We've hit it. We've already, American based. We've got a lot of people from the UK that watch and whatnot. Who knows?
We got Heavy Kev in New Zealand.
Heavy Kev in New Zealand.
Is he a South Asian Scouser in South Asia, or is he a South Asian Scouser in America? Who knows? We'll find out.
Or is he in Luton? We just don't know.
He could be. He could just be living in could be anywhere, couldn't he? Could be in Jersey City, New Jersey. Who knows? All right. Okay. So the one more thing as well. Oh, he's in Houston.
Tejas. He's in Tejas.
Mate, I love Houston. Went there last year for a football NFL game. Loved it.
Yeah.
Good for you, mate.
Lived in Austin, Texas for several years, so I do miss the barbecue, I miss the Texans, I miss the vibe down there. Wonderful, Gary. We've got to get going. We're flying through it tonight. We're almost done.
We've got plenty of time. Don't worry. I got the time on the card. I know where we are. All right. Just a quick one on the champ. Just a quick one on the champ for us.
Yes.
Cov look like they've done it. Cov look like they're back in the Premier League after 25 years.
Much deserved. Very mixed. Play up Sky Blues. Love me some Cov.
Yeah, and you'll get the enemy back in as well, won't you? The enemy will be playing at half time. They'll be all over the place, which is always good to see. Love the enemy. Ipswich, it looks like Ipswich are in pole position. They win their 2 games in hand. But again, you know what? Like SAS says, all to play for. Sometimes people falter. You've seen that with Wrexham. Wrexham were flying and Southampton smashed them 5-1 on Friday night at Wrexham.
The Saints are the form team in the Championship at the minute.
They've gone 16 games unbeaten and they've just beat Arsenal in the FA Cup.
Wild. And again, Fat Frankston wonders there. Again, you're 2 wins off from being automatic. So if Southampton keep that play to go, again, 46 games to play. So they've got 6 games left to play for. If they keep their form, they could get automatic. And
isn't it always the way as well? Like the team that's in form coming into the playoffs is the team that goes all the way through. I would, to be an absolute devil's advocate, I would love to see Millwall in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, there's that side of it, but you also want to see teams that have never been there before, apart from Wrexham, whatever. But it's great to see Cov back after being so long in there. They've got a great history. Coventry City have. Ipswich have kind of been up and down a couple of times recently. I don't think Borough have been in the Premier League for a few years now, right? It's been a while for them.
They went down, 2018 maybe they went, 19.
Yeah, Hull's not been back up there for a while. Southampton just obviously went down and everything, and Millwall's never been there. So if you look at this table, Millwall have never been down there, and then Bristol City is the other one on the screen that's never been in the promised land.
Roy Hodgson, a good friend of ours as well. Jay, a good friend of mine and Jay's is on the coaching staff at Bristol City. So for Borley's sake, we hope they get back up. But I don't know if it might be a bridge too far for them. But Roy Hodgson has won 2-2 at Bristol City after going back there after 40 odd years, which was his first managerial job.
After they binned him.
Yeah, after he bombed him off. Yeah, exactly. All right. Just a quick one then before we go to this week's fixtures. I'm going to go fancy football. And instead of just reading them off, I've brought a fancy team together. You will be not surprised to know that I only have 1 player in this team.
We've got an investment. The investment people from EPL across the pond have dug deep and gave us some fancy technology, or Gary's just figured it out finally instead of reading it off a bit of paper.
Full disclosure, I nicked it off the Fancy Premier League website and just jazzed it up a bit. But yeah.
All right. Well, here's one for you, Gary, and I'll give you the question for this. How many of these players are going to make the team of the season?
Oh, you've got to say Gabriel. You've got to say Fernandez.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Haaland. It's probably it, isn't it? Because you're going to go Saliba. It's probably going to be Declan Rice.
Raya.
Because it is, and when you look at those team of the years, it always is heavy, isn't it, with the champions and the teams that are around the top. Like, there's always a random outlier. Like, how funny would it be if Danny Welbeck gets in? But he's almost like cult hero status at this point, isn't he? Like, he's getting goals. Yeah, I mean, Jarrod Bowen is a good one as well, and there you go, and he's right as well. You want him to
I'd honestly say he's probably the most underrated player in the Premier League. Bowen. I really do believe that. Yeah, I do believe that. For his energy, what he brings, what he gives to that West Ham team with very little around him, single-handedly won them a European Cup by them, a couple of years ago. Like you say, Sasa, I think he does deserve the opportunity, regardless of what happens with West Ham this year. It would be nice to see what he could do in a big team, or what he could do with a team that's got a bit more around them.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's almost like the Carragher to West Ham, isn't he? That's not out either. Thiago at Brentford's been a good one. Again, he would be someone like that's going to be the outlier, aren't they? Someone's going to be one of those players who has performed at a high standard all season on a random team is probably going to be the extra one. But I would imagine it'll be taken up largely by Arsenal and Man City. I think Fernandez is in there as well, definitely. But the only person I have in this team is Nico O'Reilly.
Okay.
because I've got him, he's going to get 0 points this week. He'll probably score an own goal and then get sent off. So if you want any advice, do everyone in that team except for O'Reilly.
He'll be rested this weekend. They'll give him they'll rest him.
Hopefully, yeah, that'd be great for him personally. All right, mate. I know you've been rushing me along here, but we are.
Take your time. Take your time. I'm just so freaking excited about this weekend, Gaz.
I know. And it's on a Friday night. So here we go. So we've got the first game. Do you want to go through the games or do you want to go lock, shock, game of the week?
I mean, we can go through them as we talk them. If we say that game, we could say that's our lock, shock, or game of the week and everything. So kicking off tomorrow night, I love Friday night games because they're 3 o'clock for us on a Friday. Some of us are in work, some of us are, cheeking out their little phones or their little iPads in their offices. But you got West Ham versus Wolves. Wolves, we should look at the stat because Wolves were playing either Friday and Monday. Remember they beat the Villa and the Arsenal. Don't think they've had a Saturday tea time game for a while, but West Ham at home to Wolves on Friday. You feel that a win for West Ham or anything but a win for Wolves. I think Wolves are going to. I think that pretty much it. It's pretty much it is it now, but that could be all over now. And what a game for West Ham to kind of put their force on. Can they get out the bottom 3 or put a fight to stay up? That's the game you want, is it? You want to face the bottom team of the league at home. And if you can't win those games, then you do deserve to go down. Sorry, Sonny, if you're watching, but that's the reality of it all. If you can't beat the worst team or probably the second worst team in Premier League history at home.
Yeah, it's a problem. And then if you think about it, if Tottenham do manage to win this weekend away at Sunderland, it's now 4 points if West Ham can't get a win. And then I think
psychologically, and you play first as well. You play first.
Yeah. That's my game of the week. That I think that's going to be an absolute, because West Ham have to go for it. Wolves Wolves have been in a decent form. I don't think they're going to sit in. They're going to try and be expansive. They've only got 17 points. They're pretty much down. They may as well try and play the way they want to play next season. So I don't think it's going to be a backs to the wall for Wolves. I think it's going to be a decent game, like a decent high score. I reckon I'm going to go like 2-2 or 3-2, which means it's going to be 0-0.
Did you know what's funny? Like the last couple of West Ham, the last couple of West Ham games, they've absolutely battered teams, created so many chances. But a bit like Forest, they just haven't been able to find the back of the net. All right, so going into Saturday lunchtime, Arsenal versus Bournemouth. This is my lock. I think this is my lock of the week. I think, Bournemouth get to the point now. They've not really got much to play for. Arsenal at home, probably same with the West Ham game. If you're not winning these games, you don't deserve to win championships. So I think this could be the game that I've got a feeling, guys. I had a feeling earlier today, it wasn't my leg, that this could be the weekend that literally really finishes the title. And I think this is going to be the start of it. I think Arsenal beating Bournemouth for my lock of the week. That's just going to put that extra added round of pressure on City. City are still in other tournaments, are still in the FA Cup, Cup League and Cup domestic cup double. It's not a bad season. Finishing second. That's a pretty good season by anyone's standards.
Yeah, it is. Berv the gambler needs a bet after a week of going through the slate. I reckon I'm going to have Arsenal as my lock of the week as well. But you've probably got to parlay it, haven't you, and double it up on like Declan Rice shot on goal, a certain amount of corners, and Arsenal to win. Because
Saka not scoring. That's what you can guarantee.
Plus over 7.5 corners, Declan Rice shot on target, Arsenal to win. That probably might get you close to evens, maybe a little bit over evens. All right, next one: Brentford against Everton at Brentford.
Draw.
Yeah, right. Maybe it's got that written all over it, hasn't it?
Draw
again. Burnley against Brighton. I feel like they play each other every week.
Yeah, it's one of those games where, no disrespect, but nobody cares.
No, at this stage of the season. Cares. All right. Liverpool, Fulham.
Got that as my shock, I'm afraid, guys.
Is it a shock now?
It's always going to be. Liverpool losing at home is a shock, unless you're playing Arsenal, United, Chelsea, or anyone that's up there out there. To lose at home when you're fifth in the league, you're in the Champions League quarterfinal, it's a shock. I've seen it in the last couple of games at Liverpool that, like you say, players are down tools, the pressure is coming on. I was just about to say Harry Wilson. Your boys put it in there as well. Yeah, it's always the case, isn't it? It's always the ex-players that come back to haunt you.
Absolute degenerate. He's gone for it. Arsenal, a nice shot on goal.
Cheers, Burr. Appreciate tonight,
Nice
mate.
Yeah,
I think that's my shock of the week. I do. I think it's going to be Fulham again. Here's one for you, Gary. If they get dumped out of Europe against PSG and they keep losing, does Slot make it till the summer?
That I don't think he does. And I don't think PSG is a measure. But I'd be very keen to know what happens this weekend. Like, what team is he going to put out this weekend?
Right. You got to change it. You got to change it, right?
But I mean, really, do you? Because we're playing arguably the best team in the world next week at home. And I know Anfield is a fortress and all the rest of it at times, but you know, what's more important now? Like,
no, I'm saying against Fulham, is he going to try anything different? Is he going to?
That's what I mean, though. Has he got to put the best team out? I don't think he's going to tinker. He can't tinker too much because I'm sure he's not going to play 5 at the back like he did the other night. But I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore, mate.
All right. Moving on. Sunday's games. Crystal Palace, Newcastle.
Yeah, look, this is a good point. I know an SAS has gone for it here, but like ticking price banners, Spirit Shankly boycott, early goal conceded. It could get messy, couldn't it? People could be walking, which is horrible. I hate it because we need to support a team, but whatever. All right, Palace, Newcastle. I know Kev's gone, but this could be a good one as well.
I'd take Palace. I'd take Palace. Newcastle are hit and miss, struggle on the road a little bit. Palace have had a good bit of momentum. Players will be happy and stuff. Yeah, I could see Palace winning that one.
I think he's definitely rests people though, because Palace have got a legitimate chance here to make the semi-finals of that competition. And I'd argue with you there as well. You know, I think Newcastle aren't bad away from home because they don't have the pressure of the crowd.
I'll go draw then.
Draw. All right. Forest Villa.
Forest Villa. Did I put this in my game of the week? I go the Wolves game. Oh, you put Wolves game of the game. This is one of my games of the week, just because of the fact that historically it's always been a great game. You know, there's a 5-5 a couple of years ago in the Championship. I think Forest won 1, Villa won 1 last season. So it's always backwards and forwards, always a good game, you know, localish Midlands derby. I just hope Forest get a result. Villa had a great result tonight away in Bologna. Just hope Forest gets something. But I think I've got this as my second game of the week.
All right. Sunderland, Tottenham. I have Tottenham as a shock of the week here.
Are you going to go Spuds?
I think this is the game that Tottenham win.
You've really done it with the old, you know, since you did the Hotspur. Listen, you've got that little D on that little panel with the next to Spurs. That's courtesy of you lot. You mob have got that D on there. The rest, those L's, that was everybody else. Yeah, I fancy Sunderland, man. I like them at home. I think they're good. At home. And then last game on the Sunday, big game, Chelsea City. Again, that could be the bounce back ability.
Maybe. Chelsea City. I think City. I still think City.
Yeah.
Chelsea are all over the gaff. It'll be a good game, but I think it'll be, you know, it'll be City. And then the 2 Uniteds.
That's my game of the week. That's what I'm going game of the week.
Before I get battered for that, 2 out of 2 Uniteds, not the 2 Uniteds. Because there's West Ham United as well, before anyone jumps on me for that. The Fume Brigade button nearly got pressed then.
Yeah, so I think game of the week, just, you know, history that goes there, the rivalries, the clubs that doesn't matter who's where in the league and everything. There's always a game that players are up for it, fans are up for it. Monday Night Football is the best, you know, hostile. Fans been in the boozer all day. Atmosphere is going to be rocking. I think United will win it comfortably, but I think that's going to be my game of the week.
No, that's decent. All right, mate. Well, that's us. But before we go, look at that. It's not even at 45 minutes, mate. It's almost as if we've done it before. It's almost as if we've done it before. All right. So we have got, for those people who hung around, we have got the answers to the proper Dead Hard Thursday trivia question. We're obviously going to post this online and just watch people tear each other to shreds over trying to get the answers right. The question was, name the top 10 non-UK goal scorers in Premier League history. Have you got
I started writing them down, but I once I saw the other guys' answers, I'd say Henry, obviously,
right.
Aguero.
I'm trying to find SAS's answers so I can throw them up. All right, these were SAS's answers.
Henry, Salah, Aguero, Nistelrooy, Van Nistelrooy, for being technical about that kind of thing. Hasselbank, I had Hasselbank. I had Suarez on mine, but I don't think he scored that many. Robbie Keane.
All right, you ready?
Robbie Keane, one of those? Go on.
All right, these are the answers. Salah, Aguero, Henry, Van Persie, Hasselbank, Son, Robbie Keane, Anelka. You forget how many clubs Anelka played for and just how good he was.
Right.
West Brom, Bolton, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Played for a lot of teams. York. I was surprised at that one, that York was 9th.
I was surprised Van Nistelrooy's not on there, but Van Nistelrooy, I mean, he scored a ton of goals in only a short period of time.
Yeah, and then Lukaku, obviously, Everton, Man United, Chelsea. So yeah, it's a good one, that. I enjoyed that question. And you know what? Some of us weren't a million miles away, but again, it's another one. It's gettable. It's gettable.
Yeah.
It's gettable. But yeah, listen, thanks very much this week. Another good week. Thank you for the engagement. Thanks for everyone to watching. Heavy Kev, Berv, and SAS. Thanks for chucking in the comments and kept us going a little bit as well. As always, if you can, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram or Facebook at EPL Across the Pond. This has been the Thursday preview show. We'll be back next Wednesday with the World Cup Wednesday. Before that, we will have Rival Bros on Tuesday with Timochin and Edip. But in the meantime, enjoy this feast of football, Chris, that's coming up this weekend.
I can't wait. My house is going to be on the sofa all weekend, and it's going to be great.
Exactly. Just like SAS there. Peace out. Cheers, lads. All the best.